In my most humble opinion, being arrogant is a must in life. As someone who's been told on many occasions that he is arrogant and egotistical, let me tell you personally, I have zero intention of changing my ways. I wholeheartedly believe that you need to have an ego to live life to the fullest. I think my ego is what allows me to be who I am today. It pushes me to have the self-confidence to tell myself that any challenge I face is nothing major, or to act in a way that I believe I should be capable of acting, which lets me act rationally and less off of emotional impulse. Nobody pops out of the womb with an ego. I didn't either. I gained mine through a strong sense of desire to change something about myself, and then actually succeeding in doing so. Before year 11, I'll be honest, I wasn't proud of myself. I was overweight, I didn't have the strength to help those around me, and I wasn't the smartest either. I was in top set for sure, but I didn't deserve to be there. Every test reminded me that I didn't deserve to chill up at the top set with the greats of my year group. When lockdown hit, I decided enough was enough, and in one regard, I had changed something. I started doing home workouts, doing runs, and eventually I lost the weight that I was so ashamed of. And it worked. Through a combination of trial and error until I found what works for me, by the time I returned to school in 2022, I was a lot prouder of myself, and the people around me were taking notice of my change. I also started regularly going to the gym once I lost the weight, rebuilding my body to one which would make me even more proud, and it gave me the confidence to work hard and change things about myself which are in my control. In terms of school, I didn't properly lock in until around year 11, I'd say, when one of the teachers that I really disliked, I don't even remember her name anymore, but she told me, with the way that you're currently performing, I don't think you're going to hit the high targets that we predicted you in year 7. And I took that to heart. By the end of GCSEs, I came out with nothing below a 7, which gave me the confidence in my academic ability throughout my A-levels. Recently, and also one of my biggest inspirations for starting this whole thing, I discovered a YouTube channel by a guy named Ruff. And in one of his videos that prompted me to make this video, he talks about this thing that he devised called the confidence bell curve. I won't go into too much detail. If you want to see the video, you can go see the video. But essentially what he has done is he's made a standard bell curve and split it up into 3 different sections. So you've got the lower end on the left, which is having no confidence in yourself and having no evidence to back up anything. Then the larger middle portion, which is having a bunch of confidence in yourself but having no evidence to back it up. And then finally the lower portion again on the right, which is having a bunch of confidence, but now you also have all the evidence to back up why you're so confident. Normally, according to him, you're meant to mellow out a bit by the time you get to the 3rd stage. But honestly, I'd say I'm if not at the 3rd stage, then on my way down. And I haven't really gotten any more mellow. If anything, I might have become louder in my abilities. And this is where I believe some of the comments about me being arrogant and egotistical might have come from. Due to my confidence, alongside the evidence that I'd had, I gained a tendency to run my mouth a bit. To be honest, I still have it to this day. If you look at my other TikTok account, then you'd see that during exam seasons, the slideshows that I put up you can kind of see the egotisticalness a little bit. I found pride in my abilities, and the fact that I was good at my subjects and could do things which a bunch of my peers couldn't only boosted me more. I'd constantly state how things weren't too hard and not that deep, because to me, they weren't, to be honest. If I didn't understand something, all I had to do was devote time to it and I'd get it down. Simple solution. However, my attitude to things had a mixed reception. Some people would see me as competitive and strive to do better than me, whether to push themselves or just to shut me up, whichever one. And others just stopped talking to me altogether about results, because I barely had a negative thing to say, and I could only respond to them with, "You can do it too, just try." I do the same thing with sports or in the gym too. My ego pushes me to try and surpass those around me, and running my mouth to believe I could do it even if I didn't think I could. I think I did it in a way to counter the voice of doubt in my head, but I won't make excuses for it. Then one night, I was just doom scrolling, as you do, when you're just bored in summer. And I came across a hot take that really stuck with me. Am I arrogant? Or do I just believe in myself more than you think is acceptable? And so you're trying to drag me back down to your acceptable level of confidence. Now, I know that in itself is an extremely arrogant thought, but it made sense to me. The people that saw me as a challenge had either proved themselves in the past, desperately wanted to shut me up, or were extremely delusional. But either way, they had the self-confidence to hear me speak and believe that they could match or surpass me. The only people that got annoyed at me, or people that stopped speaking to me about results and things like that, were those who didn't have the most amount of confidence in their skills. And that's perfectly fine, you know. Everyone will gain their own self-confidence at different times in their lives. But should I really take the title that they've given me as negative if that's the case? That's my take on it. If you're going to be called arrogant for believing in yourself a bit more than those around you, then I want to be arrogant. People will be annoyed at you for being you, so you should just own it. So long as your ego doesn't make you all bark and no bite, and you use your failures to learn and grow constantly, then that should just mean you just have confidence in yourself. Arrogance has to be used in tandem with humility, just as St. Paul suggests in his second letter to the Corinthians, when God gives him a thorn in the side to ensure he doesn't get too prideful. Obviously, it's not a literal thorn. The Bible can be very dramatic, but you get what it means. And in a more modern, relatable sense, going back to my example of sports or the gym, anytime I'd face defeat or get shut out, I'd normally shut myself up for a bit, study what I did wrong, and then try and fix that before I went back to running my mouth. If that makes sense. To finish this up, I'll leave you with one of my favorite poems from my current favorite anime, Bleach. If it rusts, it can never be trusted. If his owner fails to control him, it will cut him. Yes, pride is like a blade.